Group D, everybody! Blackheart's Bay! And I'm totally not doing this intro for the second time because we had to restart the lobby. So, we are headed again into Meta Madness, another best of 5 series today between the GTFOs and Team Madness. And Madness is the name of the game for this tournament. We are trying to force the teams to think outside the box. We are trying to make sure that you guys don't have to watch the same heroes being played over and over and over again. And we accomplish that by 2 simple rules. Rule number 1, certain heroes are banned for the entire event. In this case, for the group stage, we have 10 heroes. They're down there. They are banned for the group stage. Very important. I'm talking about the group stage. I'm going to repeat again. The group stage. For the playoffs, this is going to be a little bit different. We're going to have more heroes banned, and there might be some adjustments to which heroes are banned. But for the group stage, those are the 10. The other rule is that every single hero can only be played once within a series. So the 10 heroes that are played in game number 1 cannot be played again in game number 2, 3, 4, or 5, and so on and so forth. The same applies obviously to any other map that follows, which means that when we're arriving at game number 4, game number 5, things get really spicy. Now, this also has a prize pool. Again, group stage is obviously always a little bit of a warm-up. You know, there's a lot of discrepancies in regards to skill levels between the teams that face off against each other. And also, there's not as many heroes banned as normally. But once that we're entering the playoffs, then it gets really spicy. But we have 2,000 euros of prize money, so the teams are incentivized to win. And I want to give at this opportunity once again a big shout out to all the people supporting me and the stream on patreon.com/Khaldor. Without that support, this tournament wouldn't be possible. Blizzard has already removed themselves ages ago from Heroes Esports. We're trying to keep the scene alive as best as we can. We've hosted Meta Madness multiple times in the past, sometimes with a sponsor, sometimes without. This is fully financed by the community, and again, thanks to the people supporting the stream and the channel over there at patreon.com/Khaldor. Link also in the description. We can still do tournament like this one. So if you want to support us there, if you want more tournaments like this, that would be a good way to make that happen. Now, either way, we now have, with Blackhearts, Lucio picked first, and we get Junkrat and Hogger. You can already tell that in this group, I think this might be a little bit of a closer group. We had some where one team was absolutely dominant and showed that right from the beginning. But this might be a bit of a closer group. Time will tell. But game number 1, nobody's screwing around here. So we don't see any insane picks just yet, but we have everything fairly straight down, a normal team composition, and really trying to put a team together that is as good as the rules that currently allows. Now, the little twist is that it's taking place on Blackheart's Bay. The question came up a few times, and I explained it at some of the recent matches, but we didn't really include Haunted Mines, Hanamura, and Blackheart's Bay in the map pool, so players can actually not choose those maps. But to make it a bit more interesting, we determine the starting map. And the starting map is always going to be one of those 3, just to add that extra twist in the most normal game of the series. So just a little bit of a side note to explain that. I'm not quite sure why exactly they banned Sergeant Hammer, because Sergeant Hammer is banned. So that's pretty much a wasted ban. I hope that they realize that themselves. And I saw early today, actually, that Soaking was informing himself which heroes are banned. So maybe he worked on wrong material. We're going to double check in the break, but let's just assume for the time being that they didn't need the ban. Either way, Hammer wouldn't have been played. Either way. So, yeah. Maybe they wanted to make extra sure, you know, like, Hammer is really banned now. So they don't even pick her by accident. Either way, with that, we now have the double pick for the red team with not prepared. I would be heavily disappointed if not at some point during this group stage he's going to play Illidan. We'll see. We're seeing Ethereal and Malfurion first of all, though. And again, we are on Blackhearts. So on Blackhearts, the doubloon cams, heavily important. Greymane is really good in that slot as well. So you can try and just get all of those small doubloon cams, turn in, get those cannonballs started and take some structures down. Sylvanas obviously has been banned. She's been banned a lot in the group stage, and for very good reason. I don't think, I mean, again, she's insane. Tracer and Sonya. So we have the double front line with Mirrodin and with Sonya. Tracer and Greymane pretty good on most of the camps here, especially Tracer can of course get the chests very quickly. And that leaves us with the final pick, so let's see what Time Bullet is going to do here. Blackheart's Bay is our first and opening map in the best of 5. And as mentioned before, this is the first match in Group D, our final group. In total, we had 16 teams split into 4 groups, and only the top 2 out of each group advance to the playoffs. And we get a Tassadar. Alright, guys, the stage is set. Let's go. Blackheart's Bay, map number 1, Team Madness going up against the GTFOs. Get ready for battle, you land lovers. On the left in blue, soaking for the GTFOs, we got Claudestroy on Tracer, Madron on Greymane, the Fish on Muradin, Hunter Orc on Lucio. And to the right side of the map, there are opponents. Here at Meta Madness, we have Not Prepared on Junkrat. Lost opportunity, I agree. Razak is playing Tyrael. We have Time Bullet on Tassadar, Mo on Malfurion. And Lunatic is playing Dehaka. Awesome. So, let's go. I've been enjoying these games on Battlefield of Eternity a lot, by the way. This is probably one of the more entertaining maps. It's a bit snowbally, but it's short and sweet, I'd say. And the fact alone that compared to Tomb of the Spider Queen, when you lose a team fight, you're losing all of your doubloons as well, and your opponent grabs them, is kind of cool. It's kind of funny. So, very interesting. Heavy focus on the bot lane, pretty much the usual agreement now, whereas we have a slight difference as the red team is going for a 4-1 split, and their opponents are topside, going a little bit harder on all of this. So yeah, there we go. Lucio is deaded, so he's already out. Goodbye, my friend. That's the first blood in the game, so the red team is pulling ahead a little bit. And at the same time, we have all the way up at the top Claudestroy doing his thing as well. Yeah, trying to just put some pressure on Dehaka. There's a second kill coming through at the bottom of the map. So actually, this 4 versus 3 situation for Madness is working out really well for them. They get 2 kills, and then are also grabbing the camp, which they can then use to take some of these structures down. Now, this is another example of a map where the objective directly attacks structures. So this means that any structure that you can take down without the help of the objective is insanely valuable, because it means that the objective itself will do damage to the opponent's keeps and cores so much faster. Now, there's a bit of a steal here. Hunter Orc with a very nice steal on the doubloons with Lucio, so that was well executed. And Tracer has in the meantime also made a little bit of a move for the other doubloons. Now we have 13-3. When it comes to the objective, the GTFOs are looking way better, but then you see this pressure play at the bottom of the map, and that changes the equation a little bit. So now we have a few more heroes starting to move in. It's going to be a 4 versus 4, but it's going to be a fairly interesting game. Because the problem with early turn-ins is, yes, they get you ahead in structures, especially now that the HP of the fountain is tied to the fort itself and the fountain doesn't soak an additional cannonball. The problem is that your later turn-ins get so much more expensive. So you have to really account for that as well. And we'll see how much they can do with this. The first turn-in has happened, so this means that this one is gone. This entire fort is going to be destroyed. In the days of old, that wasn't possible if you didn't significantly damage some of the towers, as you can see here, because the fountain soaked up one cannonball, as I mentioned. But now that's not the case anymore, so the fort is going to be destroyed. But they are trying to draw even at the bottom of the map by simply taking this one down as well. So, yeah. Let's see, they got Siege Giants. It's another play executed around camp control. But we also have some of it from the GTFOs. They are losing their Siege Giants very quickly here, on the other hand. Tassadar is really putting a number on them, and of course Junkrat too. So it seems like they might just be able to take this one down. And even if not, they've reduced it in hit points so much that one cannonball is all this thing is ever going to soak. If that. But the play for Tassadar, there's a kill. Nicely done. Finally a point on the kill board for the GTFOs. We have them now with level 7, so they pulled ahead in experience too. Dehaka is also nearly getting caught here. So yeah, Lunatic went up against Tracer, and Tracer nearly got the better of him. They have their own level 7, but they are falling behind in XP. Sonya's doing a great job at the top though. Keep in mind that the problem for Team Madness is that while they are pushing aggressively with their 4-man at the bottom of the map, they are pretty much leaving everything at the top lane and the mid lane to Dehaka, and that's slightly problematic. This is also a little bit problematic. It seems like Razak was a bit too confident when it comes to his damage output, and Tracer was able to just simply solo him. Yeah, goodbye. So he's down. That's 1 dead. It's 2 kills to 2. And it seems that Sonya is trying to get rid of a couple of gems. So, yeah, there we go. But okay, we have by now 2 to 2. We still have the bottom fort destroyed. And again, since the turn-ins are now getting more expensive for the GTFOs, that could be a bit of a problem. Interrupt on Tracer is actually happening. It was a close call, but yes, they managed it. If they win the fight, if the red team wins the fight, that would be big for them. But they also have 2 frontliners that are low in HP right from the start. Oh, and we got a pause as well. Tactical pause. It's a 3-2-3 moment over here in game number 1. I don't think that anybody actually dropped, so I will assume that it's something about the sound or maybe the control of some of the guys. But yeah, this is an interesting situation now. There is a lot on the line for the blue team in particular because they have 12 doubloons. So if they lose the battle here, they're going to find themselves in a pretty awkward spot, because if they lose the battle, they are first of all going to lose some coins. They will very likely suffer the first barrage from Madness, which is going to cost them here in the middle their fort. And since they already lost the one at the bottom of the map, it would put the red team ahead. Then again, you look over the team fight so far, and it felt like the GTFOs were just a little bit stronger in a lot of those engagements, and they already have Tyrael down to 50% HP, and the Hogger has also lost a fair chunk of his hit points. So this is one of those snowball moments where the blue team could pull heavily ahead if they get some kills here. If they get kills, they get a turn-in, it will remove another fort off the map, and since they already have a half-level lead, it would also propel them a little bit further towards level 10, which then gives them an opportunity to either take some structures down or just gain more map control by maybe claiming a few camps. So it's actually a really important fight for both teams here, and it seems like indeed we had somebody drop out, so Lucio is out of this one. It's a good moment to pause. I'll give them that. If you all of a sudden lack your support, then you should probably make sure that he's back in the game for a team fight that am I going to say could decide the game? Could very well decide the balance or tip the balance in the game for now. In damage, just to give you a bit of an idea, we have 13,000 for Tracer. Remember, she also got that solo kill on Tyrael, who was a little bit too confident heading into the battle. 11,000 for Junkrat. Also, just to explain the experience gap a little bit, mercenary experience, this is where the team already pulled ahead. The later kills in heroes also gives them a lead. Both have 2 kills, but the kills of the blue team happened when their opponents were higher levels. That's why they get more experience for them. And they've done better with the control. Now, the big difference in the early game was that the red team went for a 4-man bot lane and had the Hogger rotate mid top, whereas the blue team split 2 heroes onto the 2 lanes at the top side of the map. So they were able to get all of the minion experience, and they pushed the Hogger back a bit. They really controlled his movements as best as they could. So they are now 1,200 experience ahead of the red team just from that. Now, generally, you might want to argue that it doesn't really matter too much, but then you look at the experience gap, and it's currently half a level, which means that if the blue team gets their level 10, they have a small window that they can use to maybe take some of the structures down, break through a wall, make sure that their doubloons or the cannonballs are attacking things a bit faster, and especially with the top already losing that wall, that fort would quickly be destroyed, and then the barrage would focus down onto the bottom fort before we're slowly moving towards the keeps themselves. So it's an interesting situation that we're finding ourselves in right now, and the fight here is going to determine very much so what kind of direction the map is going to go once we're heading into level 10 and the mid game. And we're back to business. Lucio had apparently a problem with his heroes shutting down completely. And then Heroes all of a sudden wanted to install an update that doesn't exist. So small indie company. And that was a lot of build-up for absolutely fucking nothing. Are you kidding me? They just both walk away from it. Come on, boys. Commit to the Fiesta. Commit to the Carnage. Commit to the RNG. It makes obviously perfect sense for the blue team in particular to fall back here, because they have more doubloons and they have the earlier level 10. But where's the fun in that? Playing it safe? Are you kidding? So some doubloons will be turned in by Team Madness, and it seems like they're gonna get a full-on barrage going. So yes, the mid lane is going to get destroyed now. This fort will be lost. They're also going to get much, much closer to level 10. That small window that we have for the GTFOs can now it's unlikely that they're going to get anything out of it. But I was fully expecting a bit of RNG fiesta here, and then they played safe and smart. I don't like that at all. Soaking, apparently he doesn't like money, walks away immediately from the doubloons, and then he's like, ah, yeah, damn, I forgot about that stuff. A little bit of a lick, so they're dealing with the camp a bit quicker. But the mid lane fort is now about to be destroyed, and the team is pushing at the top, so they're actually trying to get some structural damage topside. They are going to be in for a rude awakening, though, because, newsflash, if you have a Greymane against you and a Sonya here, these two are going to break through this way faster. And then, very likely, the GTFOs are just going to continue. I'm going to go for the keep and say, hey, guys, this is really easy. If you want to trade a keep for a fort, be my guest. So the first are already starting to move back here, whereas the rest of the team is trying to at least destroy the fort topside. But the Hogger needs some assistance, and he needs it really quickly, or this keep is gonzo. So now they're moving in with the camp and are starting to fall back here. Junkrat is also on the way back. The keep takes some damage, and it's Tacita at the top that is going to try and take this down. Interestingly enough, is he not going to complete this? Damn, you really want to take it. Okay, waits for the cooldown and then moves back. Not really a big problem because the blue team didn't move towards the top lane right away. Instead, what they did is claim another camp. Okay, so now with that, we have another turn in for the blue team. Keep in mind, this is their second. So what's going to happen here is that the top fort will be destroyed. And then afterwards, we're going to see the ghost ship take aim at the middle keep. So this is the next one that gets attacked. So there's not going to be a keep that gets lost yet. But also the next turn-in that we're seeing from the GTFOs is going to cost them 14 doubloons now. So it is getting a little bit pricey. Inflation is not only hitting the United States, but also the Nexus. Thanks, Uncle Joe. And that's why Blackheart, you know, he has to raise the prices occasionally. It's just like, guys, this is financially not feasible for me anymore. I have to just up it a little bit. I mean, have you seen what it costs to keep all of these ghosts employed here? It's crazy. The mercenaries on the map are getting more expensive every single day. It's just absolutely nuts. They're getting another turn, by the way. These guys are swimming in gold. And that is now going to get very dangerous because it's going to destroy the keep and it will also then attack the top lane a little bit further. So, yeah. Top side, a little bit of a quick look at the boss since they didn't really have a lot of vision lately. But for the red team, it starts to become important that they, first of all, get their own turn in. But then second, also win a team fight because they're running a little bit out of time here. Again, the maps are short and spicy. So that's what's going to happen very quickly. This one is going to get destroyed. The keep is going to be in play. Level 13 kicks in, so they have the same level now. And Soaking already wants to turn in. They're playing really well around the objective. They're controlling that space the entire time, nearly perfectly. Now they need 16 doubloons for a turn in, but they have 11 already. They already got 11 doubloons, whereas the red team has only 7. The Hogger gets chased a bit, but is able to walk away. But they can now safeguard the doubloons by simply turning in here. Is that going to be a boss play? Are they going to try and go for the boss? It's already getting pinged. But the blue team is willing to just go for the keep at the bottom. They're like, hey guys, if you want to go with the boss, totally cool. So, yep, here we are. They're going for Lunatic, try to take him down, but the main goal is obviously the keep here. And they are able to reduce the hit point pool pretty significantly, but they're not taking it apart fully. This is, by the way, one of the reasons why the map has, for such a long time, disappeared from the map pool. Now, we've had a lot of Blackheart's Bay games that were super entertaining. Like, there were a lot of fights, very entertaining, but right now you can tell that the GTFOs, they don't really want to fight unless they're forced into it and see a good chance. So they can completely fall back and ignore fights, and they have been doing this for a long time. This is the first battle that they're actually engaging in. They're just playing around lane pushing and turn-ins, but here they see an opportunity, they move in, they take Tacita down, their chests are spawning, and this is bad news for the red team. They are losing on all grounds here, and Greymane is ripping them apart, going deep and dropping the Hogger. Junkrat is down. And that is likely gonna be the end of the road for the red team. They are losing the balloons, they are losing the bottom keep. The core is wide open, a turn-in can happen. And nicely done here by the blue team as they are about to claim victory on Blackheart's Bay, pulling a little bit ahead here on map number 1 in Group D, the final map of Meta Madness. So yeah, they're actually falling back for now, but as I said, they're just playing it safe because they have another set of doubloons over here. They hold 23, as you can see. This one is not really that big of a concern, but all they gotta do is now play around the turn-ins. So yeah, they're getting actually not all of it. They're a little bit late on the rotation this time, but they're zoning Tyrael out. Wow! Okay, he actually jumped in. I was expecting that Stormbolt to just hammer it home. But they are on 63% now on the core. Tyrael dies. They had to go for it. They had to interrupt. But there's also level 16 talent that we now have. Doubloons have obviously been turned in. What does that mean? It means that we have the keep destroyed. Junkrat is dead too, so this is going to be the end. They delayed a little bit longer. Malfurion is dropped as well. But the main story here was really they fell back to play it even safer and ensure that they're not going to have any issues winning the game. They didn't want to get wiped on the core, lose all of their doubloons and allow a comeback for Team Madness. So as you can see, this is the end in game number 1. The lead in this series goes to the blue team as they take the victory on Blackheart's Bay. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. To the Spider Queen, map number 2. Party time, everybody. We got the GTFOs up against Team Madness. So the name means got to figure something out, and obviously it doesn't really put. Like, it's actually kind of funny. So. Well, how did they do it? Like, it was something we like got to figure something out, or got to figure out something. They initially screwed up their team name, if I remember correctly, because I looked at it and I was like, this doesn't fit on my scoreboard. I have to do something here. So let's use an acronym for it. And then when I looked at the names, I was just like, they're so close to spelling out GTFO. And so I called them the GTFOs. But I pointed out that the acronym doesn't actually fit, and then some players of the team came over and was like, wait a second, what? So they realized that the name was a little bit off, and they fixed it afterwards. I don't know the exact details anymore, but it was kind of funny when we talked about that. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. But yeah, either way, game number 2, we have tanks banned. It's Tumo Spider Queen. Cho'Gall and Leo are both out. Meta Madness, my... Stitches. I say Cho'Gall because I want to say my spider senses are always tingling when I see someone like Leo banned, and Cho'Gall is of course also a hero that gets a bit more threatened by Stitches, since if you go Gorge against Cho'Gall you get more or less a 2-for-1, right? You can isolate him, but you force also a short fight with a 5 versus 3. Don't really think that they're going to do this on map number 2. It's a little bit too soon, but Greymane at least got played. Leo banned. Now, if you somehow get rid of Malthael and also Tychus, then maybe you can do something here. But we'll see. Okay, either way, we have our first pick. And they're actually hesitating a little bit. It's game number 2 and they're already like, I'm not sure what to do here. But it's a Yrel. Heavily underplayed hero, by the way. This is a hero that really surprised me in the group stage so far. She is extremely underplayed. One of the strongest that is still available for picking, and she didn't see nearly as much play and nearly as high a priority in the group stage as I would have thought. So, kind of interesting. But what's the blue team gonna do? Now, keep in mind, we have now 20 heroes that are not available anymore. So the 10 heroes you saw on the first map are not available anymore. You can only pick a hero once every series. And then we have the 10 heroes that are banned for the entire group stage. So that's already 20 heroes gone. You include the 6 that are banned for this particular draft, and you're removing 26 heroes from the hero pool. Now, in total, we have 90 heroes in Heroes of the Storm. Cho'Gall, technically, I mean, he counts as 2 hero, but he's not, so let's say 89 playable ones. And, yeah, let's see. But yes, we have Maiev and we got Mephisto, so already a really nice damage dealer for them. And Maiev, always a powerhouse. But the Diva pick by Soaking is already very, very cool. So we get Gul'dan, obviously still very strong on Tomb of Spider Queen. Fantastic wave clear that he has. Normally the Runeless Affliction combo on level 1 and level 16 that you're aiming for. Trying to get the quest completed for the double hits there. Uther gets banned, funnily enough, by the GTFOs. Now keep in mind they're playing with Fish here as their main tank, and if you know one thing about Fish, it's probably that he loves to play an Uther main. So yeah, the Uther main tank double support comp is actually very powerful for them. And supports get a little bit targeted in the draft now too. They ban Rega out. They have not taken a support yet themselves, so they're limiting their own options. We still have plenty of supports in the game, so there's that. But yes, let's see what they are going to go for. Especially, of course, with Fish in mind now. I want to know what the front liner is going to be. We still have plenty. Deckard Cain and Mei. Okay, front line is fully overwatched. We got Mei and we got Diva. And that leaves us with the final 2 picks for the red team. They themselves still need a tank. And they also, of course, need a support. They don't have one yet. Let's see what we're gonna get from them. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious what they're trying to combo off with Maiev. It's Garrosh. Okay, so we go for Garrosh. And we get Ana. Nano boosted Mephisto, that's rough. That is really spicy. That hurts. That hurts a lot. If you can't control him and focus him down, then he is going to absolutely murder you. So that's really a good pick for them. There's also a lot of control with Garrosh and with Maiev. Yrel obviously can create some space very easily as well. That leaves us with more damage needed for the GTFO. So the team in the lead in this best of 5 series is going for their final pick, and it is Chromie, the Chromestar, everybody. Tomb of Spider Queen, map number 2 here, the first match of Group D. Let's go. Game number 2 on the left side of Tomb of the Spider Queen. It is Soaking playing Diva. For the blue team, we got Fish on Mei, Maduron on Chromie, Cloud Destroy on Gul'dan, and Hunterhawk is playing Deckard Cain. On the right side of the map, we got Razak on Mephisto. We have Not Prepared on Maiev, Mo on Ana. Time Bullet is playing Garrosh, and we got Lunatic on Yrel. Alright, let's see if the red team can lock in a W, or if it's going to be a 2-0 lead. As expected already, the Echoed Corruption on level 1. Again, the combo with the Runeless Affliction on 16 is going to be big for them. We got the Deep Breathing over here for Chromie. Generally good advice, I would say. This is something that not only Chromie should take to heart, but Deep Breathing is always a good thing. Especially if they're having a panic attack or something like that. So yeah, I can highly recommend. Always a good idea. But yeah, with that we have a little bit of a mini skirmish right at the beginning. Nothing too fancy happening over here, as you can already tell. But the teams are both now rotating with their 4-man between the lanes, trying to get into a decent position. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, it's Diva against Yrel, our side laners that are doing the job. Level 1, we got the heat transfer here for Mei, and also Naisha's Memento with Light of Karabor for the blue goat. Blue goat, best goat. Okay, Time Bullet. I like that mount as well. It's not the money pick, but it's actually a pretty cool mount. Yeah. And it fits him really well, so that is a pretty solid choice. I like the synergy attempt that we're seeing from him. The Siege Giants were still locked in by the red team, so they split another hero down to the bottom of the map, making sure that they were able to claim the camp. They already had a very good early game on map number 1, but they weren't really able to maintain it throughout the mid game and struggled against the objective. But yeah, maybe here things are going to look a little bit better for them. We have Diva creating as much space at the bot lane as possible for her. Turn is already happening, especially from the bot lane. I like that a lot. And then he cancels because they think they can get D.Va and it doesn't work out. Yeah, I always like it when the bot laner is given a bit of space to turn the gems in, because this is usually the hero that holds the most gems easily and for a long time. So if he gets targeted and dies, then you are in real trouble. And in an ideal world, you want to try and prevent that from happening. So Yrel cancelling is a bit unfortunate. Oh, that was a nice save by Garrosh though. And D.Va dies at the bottom of the map, so nice solo kill from Yrel. Job well done, and now they're claiming a second kill as they throw Gul'dan past the gate. Really well done, I like it. That was pretty sexy. So that's 2 kills to 0, and now they can turn a few of the gems in if they want to. They have a bit of momentum. They use it to go for their camp instead. But I really like the way that they currently did that. And getting a solo lane kill is obviously fantastic for the red team. That's the absolute dream when you can pull that one off. So job well done by them. 21 gems to 25, but there's already some that have been turned in by the red team. So yeah, that was definitely a good start for them. Another attempt to go for D.Va. She doesn't really have a good time here, does she now? Same could be said from Garrosh, but he has the Indomitable on level 1 and can use that to get out of harm's way. It's obviously a cooldown that he burns, but still. It's only one team that has a camp, so that means that there's pressure in the mid lane that has to be dealt with, and that creates some space on other lanes, and maybe also on the turn-in spots, which is exactly what the team is trying to capitalize on. A little bit unsuccessful for now, but they're doing the best they can here. Hoping to deliver those 27 gems that they are still holding. The stacking progress for Chromie and for Gul'dan, more or less the same. 14, 15 is what we're looking at. Bot lane, we got now Yrel still making a play for D.Va. Whereas a top side with the level 7 talent in the hand, we have another flip. Look at this. He's getting a lot of these. I like it. This is really nice Garrosh play. So he sees a lot of opportunities and they're looking for a kill. They might actually not get this one, but just the play alone was really well done. He's always making sure to push people into an uncomfortable position and then play around it. They're still attempting to control that fight, and they are risking to lose Garrosh, who gets healed by Anna with the last shot, but they get the counter kill on Deckard Cain. But Yrel dies. So it's a nice back and forth here. It didn't quite work out as well for the red team as they were probably hoping for, but I like the way that they are trying to create these opportunities for themselves over and over again. Still a little bit ahead on the kills. Razak is going to be one of the main damage dealers. He's going full on into the Lightning Nova, by the way, with the Furious Spark and the Static Barrier here. But the red team is fighting back. Experience is even. Level 8 versus level 8. The kill count, of course, a slight advantage. And now they turned in with D.Va at the bottom of the map and a few others, so it's 35 to 45. Another 5 need to be delivered. Chromie might be in trouble, but... Oh, Mephisto! These saves! Time Bullet is making the plays right now. Not only does he prep kills for the team, but he also saves so many of his allies here. Nicely done, and they're preventing the turn-in from the blue team. And all of this is getting to a level 10 much, much faster than anticipated. Normally you have an earlier turn-in, and then turn-in number 2 is the one that centers around the objective. This one is a little bit different. It just comes through as level 9 is hit. So if they can soak a few more lanes and maybe even get another kill, there's a realistic chance for them to achieve level 10 during the push, which would open more opportunities for them, of course, as it happens. So Web Weavers are going to touch ground pretty soon here, and then we're going to see what exactly they can do with all of this. Mo in the back firing away and just going through sniper training over here with success, I might add. Some really solid saves, especially Time Bullet has been a very grateful recipient. Again, another play against Chromie's ult. Nicely done by Garrosh, and now they have their own level 10. They have a slight window, but it's honestly tiny. There's nothing they can do around this. And another pause. Alright, so they're pausing again, but this time it is the... Actually, it is the red team that pauses. So we had one disconnect in game number 1. I'm not sure if we're experiencing the same problem over here, but for them it's of course a little bit of an awkward position right now. They are the ones pushing, and it's happening just as the Web Weavers are touching ground. Level 10 will be ready for the blue team in just a moment. Chromie obviously already has her ability, so it's not going to be a problem for her. Yeah. Web Weaver at the bottom of the map also more or less defeated. And in the middle, this is also passed. So they're only looking at the one top side that they can still push with. Which means that they haven't really done a whole lot. They didn't even destroy the wall in the middle. So this has only been scratched. At the bottom of the map, they have at least broken through that. But they need some kills. Now, keep level 10 in mind, because this is really where we have a lot of potential damage coming in with the Nano Boost and then the Jordans of Fate, also the Warden's Cage. But they need to properly execute this, and they're not even trying to push the top. Instead, they're collapsing onto D.Va at the bottom of the map, and they're trying to make sure that she's losing those gems. And if they could go a little bit deeper, maybe they could have killed her, but she is still alive. Soaking is making it out. Time Bullet, on the other hand, gets healed by Anna. So yeah, nicely done. So he's still fine. There comes the Horrify. Ice Wall! And it's getting dodged, at least by him. Nano Boost has already been used, but the problem is that Mephisto is not doing anything with it. Gets literally put to sleep a second later. Now they're going into the attack. Mephisto can't do anything. Like, he's getting ping-pong from left to right and right to left, and even the assist from Time Bullet's Garrosh was not enough to save him. At least they could recover the gems here. But this is again a bit spicy. Blue team is getting a lot more momentum right now. Not only do they get those siege giants at the bottom of the map, but they've also been able to solidify their own turn-ins. So the Web Weavers are now coming down for them, and they have a chance to do some damage. And they've already pulled ahead in experience, so they've taken a slight lead here. But yeah, it's definitely getting dangerous for the red team again. The very early game is always looking good for them. They're getting their kills, they're starting to dominate rotations, they're playing well around camps and objectives. But then, as we enter the mid-game, as we get level 10, it becomes much, much more difficult for them. And the coordination of the blue team seems to be a little bit superior, which led in the last fight also to the kill that they were able to get. And they're getting very much pressured past the fort. So the fort is going down. There's a big difference in these two turn-ins. One team gets an entire fort destroyed. There's even more damage at the top where they break through a wall and start taking hit points off the fort. So yeah, they are definitely pulling ahead here. Structurally, they've already claimed the lead. We have also nice progress from Chromeo's completer level 1 talent. Gul'dan is at 33. He's also doing well. You want to complete it normally at the latest before you get level 16 so that you can get immediate synergy with the Ruinous Affliction. But yeah, things are looking very much up for the boys in blue now. There is a turn-in for both teams again. Both of them have enough gems to make the turn-in happen. Who is going to be able to win these fights now though? We've seen Maiev still at the bottom of the map. Level 13 is coming through. And that is a big turn-in if they get it through. Yep, there it is. A little bit too short on the Sandblast. Time Bullet was able to commit. And that was important because as the tank, if you're the frontliner, if he has to risk himself time and time again, you want to make sure that you play that properly. They catch Mephisto though, and he just doesn't have the hit point pool to sustain any of this. So he gets crushed, Soaking turns in, and that means it is another Web Weaver wave for the blue team. They're gonna get more pressure now, and with level 13 on the board, they are pulling ahead by probably more than a level. Top wave or top lane, I don't see the fort surviving there. Here in the middle, I mean, again, they're doing the damage before the Web Weavers are even there. So thanks to the cap that they got and them killing Mephisto, they can push in with a 5 versus 4. That might just be their saving grace if they're now killing Gul'dan, and he dies. So that was big, massive body block, but they are losing Garrosh in return. At least Mephisto is back, and that helps them a little bit, but it didn't help them saving that fort. So the fort is still gone. Top side, I would assume that we're going to see the same. And down to the bottom of the map, even the wall at the keep is starting to take damage. So they are losing on all 3 lanes. They're losing ground quickly. And the blue team, they are not showing any mercy here. They're coming through hot and heavy, 5 kills to 4, as they're aiming to just crush this series. 35 stacks for Gul'dan, so our boy is doing better and better here on the stack count. He's doing really well as he's attempting to get to level 16 and then get that synergy going. They are trying to make a play for fish, but even that doesn't work out too well for them. So now the damage output, I mean, Mephisto's looking nice. That was pretty well done though. Maybe they can get the kill on Mei after all. But now she gets some assistance. Deckard fully out of mana and is moving back right away. But yeah, so as it stands, we have 26,000 damage for Mephisto. It's not too shabby. It's roughly on the same level that we have D.Va. Yeah, D.Va is actually at 25,000. Chromie and Gul'dan have pulled ahead with 29 to 30k, but they have a lot going for them here. And 16 is of course going to soon be ready. Half HP on this one. We might see maybe even a Hail Mary thrown at the boss once that they have level 16 themselves, talking about Team Madness. Because what else are they going to do? They can play around the turn-in, but they need the talent first. And they're still nearly an entire level away from it. So, yeah, there's enormous amount of pressure. And the blue team knows it too. So the blue team is now just trying to pressure them as best they can, whenever they can, stealing some of these camps away too. There's nothing that can... Ooh, oh, they're actually going for the ult. Low team. Trying to get a sneaky kill here. Mephisto has to be very careful with this one. Gets hit again and is able to move away, but they lose the camp regardless. So, yeah, it is getting real dangerous, not only in the middle of the map, but also down here at the bot lane, since the Siege Giants are pushing together with the minion wave. Nice catch here. Good Horrify too. Two are caught. Time bullet saved by Ana. And there's the kill, is it? No, he gets out. He gets out, but they kill Gul'dan. That one backfired, and now 16 is finally ready for Team Madness. That came at the perfect moment in time. D.Va down. If they can get Mei with those 29 gems, that would be the absolute dream. But it seems that she's going to be able to get away. Hunter, he's also making it. They just can't gap that distance quickly enough. The keep in the middle of the map has been lost, but now there's multiple options for Team Madness. The boss is open. They can turn in their gems. They can try to go for both. It's a 5 versus 3. They have to make some choices here, but they also have to make sure that nobody dies. And yes, Lunatic is a little bit low. And Pura Loop is in, gets flipped, good timing, well played. And Mephisto nearly dies to the boss at the top. So, yeah, it's not that easy. Problem is you have Chromie against you, and Chromie is just gonna completely crush them from afar. Oh, shut up! Yeah, sorry. She doesn't... She really is too... She likes the shit too much. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, very full of herself. So, 5 kills to 6. Chromie with the interrupts here, nearly even leading towards a kill. So the red team couldn't do nearly as much as they wanted to here. And obviously, they still have to capitalize on the situation somehow. But they have neither gotten a turn-in, nor have they gotten a boss. So they're in a really awkward spot. There's the Horrify. Urel is dead, and that is 50 gems that she had. Most of them taken by Time Bullet, but he also had to go deep in order to grab them, so they are focusing on him instead. And he nearly makes it out, I would say, but there's just too many heroes. He's going 1v5, and that just doesn't work for him. So 7 kills to 6. The gems are lost. They had more than 100 gems. They still have a turn-in available, but things are obviously looking really grim for them right now. Mephisto is pushing back out. Ana is working overtime on her over here. Whatever they pay her, they don't pay her enough. We got 51,000 damage by Mephisto now. Easy top damage in the game. Not that it does do them any good. Ana and Maiev have not died yet, by the way. Neither have Chromie and Mei. Both of them still alive. But now it's a play for boss from the blue team. Yeah, Madness, they had a chance. When they were ahead, they had an opportunity where they could have maybe... I mean, at least the turn-in should have happened. But they also thought that they had to do both turn-in and boss to have a chance to bring this back. And that's something where you split your forces very thin. And the blue team took advantage of it, prevented the turn-in from happening. The lineup that the red team is running doesn't really allow them to send only 1 or 2 heroes over to the boss and try and claim it. So that was another problem that they had to deal with. And now here comes the play towards the top. Once again, another move being made. They're aiming for soaking. Can they get the kill? There's the explosion. They get some of it. Not prepared, is very much so alone, but he kills Chromie, gets killed a second later. The boss is still in play. They're doing okay in the team fight, but they're getting pressured on all lanes. Down at the bottom of the map, it's Catapults that are pushing for the keep. Over here, the end of Gul'dan, they're trying to chase them. I mean, the only thing that they can do is try and get as many kills as possible and then roll the momentum. So that's the reason why they're not even dealing with the boss, why they're just saying, guys, it doesn't matter anymore. We need to at least save one lane, but besides that, it's important that we're now turning in and making big plays. It's been made harder by the fact that the blue team now has level 20 talents, so they just locked in their storm talents over here, and that helps them even further. Chromie's back in 17. They should turn in at the bottom, and they do. Mephisto is there. Plenty of gems for him. Red Weavers are coming down. Core is already losing some hit points. They are, I mean, Catapults are going to be taken care of by the wave, but they get the rest of the team in there as well. Again, they gotta go for a big hit now. It's the only chance that they have. They've lost too much. They've lost 2 keeps. Third keep is attacked. And let's not forget, they haven't taken a single fort down. Not one. They have not destroyed a single fort. So they need to go for the big hits here, or this game is over. And already the party is starting right here in the middle. Another big play is attempted. They need Mephisto to absolutely pop off. The nano boost is out. He does a lot of damage, but it's not nearly enough to grant them the kills that they need here. Level 20 is close for the red team, so Team Madness maybe a chance with their 20s. They're trying again, this time for soaking. D.Va is still totally fine though, and it just doesn't look like they have what it takes. Top side and at the bottom of the map, the Web Weavers, they are doing some damage, so at least the fort is going to fall here, but that is just not going to help them. Fish is trying to slow this down and to do some damage, but the big news is that in the middle, they need to win the team fight. Horrify is out. Again, Mephisto gets caught here. They want to go for him, they grab him, and they kill him. Gul'dan, ladies and gentlemen, dropping Maiev and dropping Mephisto. Now Anna's getting attacked too. It's a 5 versus 3 at this point, and obviously this is not working out for them. She gets zipped in again. Garrosh has already fallen. A goodbye, Space Goat. Urel is... well... okay, maybe Urel is going to make it out. She's really good at wasting people's time. And yep, she just hops away. A little bit arrogant too with that pony that she has over there, so doesn't change the outcome of the game, but I mean, good for her. So nicely done, well played. We got 12 kills to 8, and it is another victory for the blue team. Hard fought victory, but they controlled the flow of the game. Starting in the mid game, really nice job, and now it's a 2-0 lead for them. Or at least it should be, and it will be, as Gul'dan is taking aim. He finally drops the core with the rest of his boys, and that puts them into a great position in this best of 5. A 2-0 for the GTFOs. Game number 3, match point number 1. The GTFOs going up against Madness. The blue team is one of the favorites to make it out of the group. As I explained previously, we look usually at the group stage of Meta Madness more so as the warm-up. First of all, because there is less heroes permabanned than there will be in the playoffs, but also because you have more of a skill gap between the teams that are playing here. Now, Infernal Shrines could very well be our last map. It depends a little bit on what exactly the red team can pull off now. But, of course, since we are in Game 3, we now have 30 heroes that are not available anymore. The 10 heroes that are banned for the group stage, the 10 heroes that were played in Game number 1, and the 10 heroes that were played in Game number 2. So that limits the pool even further and makes some of the more out-of-the-box options a lot more interesting. So this is not quite Crazy Town. There's a little bit more what it's going to look like in the actual playoff event, I'd say. We had, of course, a lot of really crazy games already, where teams right at the start went very, very deep into the rabbit's hole and started to pick, I mean, the Gaslows, you know, the Murkies and whatnot. But in those groups, we usually had one team that was so far ahead of everyone else that they knew they could get away with this stuff. So since things will be a lot closer in the playoffs, it will slowly ease your way in there. But that's also the reason why in the playoffs we have more heroes that will be pre-banned. But yeah, so we got Stukov banned out this time. There's still a lot of good frontliners available, so Stukov ban, for example, means that you can't just simply go into a Varian and Stukov combination and try and snipe targets super easily, so you have to be a bit more cautious around that. But we got the Sylvanas ban again. Doesn't surprise me in the slightest. I mean, one of the best heroes that is still up for grabs. And a Tychus pick. Yeah, so Tychus gets picked. There's the Uther main tank that I highlighted in one of the earlier drafts for Fish. They are going to pick a second support. So very likely they will run 2 supports, Uther as the main tank, unless they're trying to play mind games right now, pick him with Fish first and then swap him to the support player. But I don't really think that's what they're going to do here. My question is more so if we are going to get Cho'Gall, because if you're picking Tigers on Infernal Shrines, then obviously this is a really, really good pick, regardless of what you want to do. But in all of the games, there's always this Cho'Gall factor that you have to think about. And if you claim Tigers, there is a chance they're trying to, you know, make sure that they can grab him for themselves. Not gonna happen. They went for Nubarak. They got Whitemane now, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But it's always something that you should at least think of, because he actually gets fairly strong after a fair amount of heroes are removed. But we still have good heroes here. Kerrigan is going to go bananas on this one once that she has a Divine Shield. You can also still really tee her up a little bit further. Deathwing gets banned, okay. And on the support side, I mean, what else are they gonna grab now? They need something to follow up on Kerrigan too, and it could be a Jaina, for example. You could play around Jaina and her AoE and really try to drop a target quickly. They really don't like the Rhaegar on them. Yeah, the Rhaegar player a little bit too strong. But even they, you know, they look at this and then they know exactly what Fish is usually playing. So they're still banning a support. They know that Uther is, with very high probability, being played as a main tank and not as a solo support. That rarely happens these days. But the double pick. Blue team, again, they need to bring this draft together a bit. We get Cassia and we get Lily. Alright, somebody's looking for adventure over here. I like it. Lily in the house. And with that, we now have the 2 supports. And it's kind of funny. Lily is not necessarily someone that I had on my bingo card for game number 3, but hey, I'll take it. So yeah, she's looking for adventure again. Let's see if she can find some. The final 2 picks in the meantime for the red team. Ragnaros and Greymane! Alright. Yeah, that's a lava wave game if I've ever seen one. And it's Arthur's as the final pick for the GTFOs. Good against Greymane, of course, too. So, yeah, let's go. We got Infernal Shrines, everybody. Map number 3, first match point. Game number 3. There's a slight change to the draft because there was an illegal pick. We're going to go over that in a moment. We have on the left side in their first match point, Soaking on Arthur's, Fish on Uther, Madron on Cassia, Cloud Destroy on Kerrigan, and Hunter Orc on Lily. On the right side of the map, we got Not Prepared on Falstad. He's the swap, so they picked Greymane, but Greymane was played previously, so he wasn't available. And they swapped him with Falstad. So now we get the birdie. We got Razak on Nubarak, Time Bullet on Tychus, Mo on Whitemane, and Lunatic is playing Ragnaros. And since Falsa was pretty much picked at the end, we didn't redraft the entire thing. There was the final pick of Arthur, so that technically could have been adjusted by the GTFOs, but they decided that they want to play Arthur's anyways, so we didn't redraft the entire thing and just simply swapped the hero out, and that was that. So now we have a few more options for the red team when it comes to macro. Greymane would of course have been pretty nice for them to just try and get quicker and more targeted kills, but with Falstad they can even go for isolation plays when Cocoon is being used by a Nubarak. Falstad could come in with a gust and make his play. Nice dodge, by the way. That one was pretty important. Yeah, so if that stun hits, then he is gone. So that wasn't too bad. And instead they're turning it around and get a kill on Cassia down here at the bottom of the map. I gotta give it to them. Every single time that we're starting a game, they are the ones pulling ahead in kills. So initially, they always do well. It's just the mid-game where they start to struggle to bring it over time here. We also got some additional insights into the pick process. So apparently Soaking wanted to pick Samuro, but Fish didn't let him. So the Fish just said no. Nope. Was like, no. You're gonna stick it out with Arthur's here. We're not gonna go Samuro in game number 3. It's kind of unfortunate, honestly. Would have been fun to see a Samuro game, but apparently the Fish is ruling the GTFOs with an iron fist and doesn't allow for picks that are too memey. At least not this early in the tournament, so later on we might see it, but not in this case. So Arthur's is already starting to harass Ragnaros a little bit, and this time he's not getting out. Was a nice dodge regardless initially, but yeah, it's just too much. Arthur's is awesome when it comes to control and slowing some of these fights down. It's really unfortunate that he's not part of the actual meta anymore. Back in the day, it was a big thing. I mean, Arthur's was huge, especially in the combo with Kerrigan when both of them still had Envenom. That was very popular, but even after that, he was used as a counter to Illidan, as a counter to Greymane. But these days, of course, he's just lacking a lot. He doesn't have the same engage tools and control tools that other heroes have, and that definitely hurts him. So, not someone that you see a whole lot outside of Meta Madness. Same, of course, can be said for Lily as well, who's going into a Serpent Sidekick and the Wind Serpent on level 1 and level 4. With the double support that they're running here, they have also tons of control. But should be fairly interesting now to see what's happening, especially at the top lane. If somebody keeps a hero up to take the camp down, both teams have taken their shaman camp, and it's Ragnaros that is trying to burn this down quickly. Therefore, they're willing to give some initial control on the objective to the blue team. Now, honestly, it could have been Falsa that stays there and uses Global, but they decided against that. They're getting a kill on Kerrigan, and Jesus, that ragdoll gets kicked across half the map. But the loss on the Shrine is kind of significant. But it's a 14-point lead. If they can get a second kill here... hello, team? Damn! Nice! Kerrigan is about to reappear, but this is an early level 7 for them, and with the second kill, they should honestly be able to grab this one. So nicely done. Everything is working out for them. 3 kills to 1 in total. They have a bit of a lead in experience. We get them with the Intercession. Level 4 is the Master Assassin for the passive, as so often. And this is gonna get maybe a little bit more difficult for the blue team. Now, to be fair to them, they were the ones that always dominate in the middle of the game, and level 10 abilities are available, so this is definitely still possible. But here comes the delay on the Shrine. They're delaying as they're looking for another kill, I suppose. Coming in for Kerrigan, and Cloud Destroy is having some real problems, even with Uther saying hello and helping him out, so Kerrigan gets killed again. Samuro is quickly turning into the punching ball of the game. Topside, Falstad playing against Uther. I know who's going to win that in the long run, so he definitely doesn't want to stay here too long. But now that the Punisher has been claimed, we have them pushing through the bottom of the map. Ragnaros is coming in here as well. And this is going to be a fun one. This is going to get more dangerous and dangerous for the blue team. Maybe the boys in red are the agents of chaos that are going to get a little bit ahead the further the game progresses and the more heroes are banned. So yeah, that could definitely happen here. But yeah, interesting. Definitely some interesting plays that are being made right now, and obviously at the same time we're now seeing the fort drop down to 50% HP, the wall destroyed, half a level lead for them still. Yeah, and things are looking good, so nicely done. We got over towards the right side of camp that gets claimed. Both teams are exchanging more or less the same moves here. But it's a level 10 that's going to be super interesting, because from the looks of it, there's going to be a small window for Team Madness that they could just be using to get a bit farther ahead here. Another one at the bottom of the map, so general mercenary control goes now to the team in red. They're doing very well around this. And their goal is to take down the fort at the bottom of the map. I mean, there they already look good. Ah, it's Sulfuras. No Lava Wave in this one. We had a lot of Lava Wave plays in Meta Madness already, but this time it is Sulfuras, and this one, unfortunately for them, didn't really hit home. So that did not enough. But yeah, they're still looking to try and take that bot forward out, but now that they don't have that level 10 advantage anymore, they won't be able to do anything about it right away. So yeah, it is what it is. But alright. Top side, that's where Ragnaros is actually getting caught and gets murdered. So Raggi is down. Falstad is using the global for them at the bottom of the map, as they're trying to play this one out. And this is also the first Arthas, I might add, that as a side laner did decide to not go into Sindragosa, if I'm not mistaken. So we actually see the army coming in. And yeah, now that I think about it, we've only seen Sindragosa so far. So yeah. Once again, Kerrigan is dead. This is getting a little bit of a theme. Kerrigan is not having a good game. She's been targeted time and time again. Maybe she just likes it at the Nexus. Yeah. Just sits back tight at the Nexus. Drinks a Prosecco or something while she waits for the death timer to pop back up. But yeah, she's been targeted hard. Tigers himself with 11,000 damage, by the way. Arthas, once again, in a battle with Ragnaros down at the bottom of the map, but Rag gets out. But you can see that this is getting really annoying for Ragnaros. You would think that he could just melt this Frost Aura away or something, but no. So we just learned that Arthas is definitely superior to Ragnaros. Ragnaros is just an inconvenience for Arthas. He's gonna frost it down. Ragnaros can try and heat things up as much as he likes, but when Arthas comes in, he turns things pretty frosty pretty quickly. So yeah, not hot enough. 5 kills to 2. We have level 13 talents approaching very quickly, and so is the next shrine. The bird with the barrel roll down at the bottom of the map is not prepared, is moving away. I mean, he's lying to us clearly. He definitely was prepared and was able to make it out of this one. But topside, the red team is again taking the lead. I kind of like it. They've been really struggling in game 1 and 2, but they had their chances. And now that we have level 13 kicking in for both of them, maybe they can win another objective. Level 1 quest isn't oh, Arthas takes down Falstad. So Falstad is dead. I mean, he's going to be back. They're trying to get a kill before the team comes in. Divine Shield had to be used by Uther on himself. And now they got to retreat. 26 already. And, well, Ragnaros, if he can get to the... Okay. Ragnaros, if he could have gone to the fort and used his trade, that would have been nice. But instead, they're now losing him as well. I think they could have played this a little bit better. Falstad will be back. He could have flown in. They could have sacrificed a few points. They still have Odin. There was definitely potential in that team fight for Team Madness, but now they are getting a bit crushed here. They lost 1 hero, 2 heroes. Falstad is now in the middle. At least with the help of Odin, they can try and push them back a bit further. But I think there was a lot more to be gained here than what they essentially got. They're still trying to get some hits in, and they're doing good damage, but it's just not enough to really threaten the blue team. They're retreating back onto the shrine and are now locking in the objective. But I think there was potential in this battle, for sure. So once again, they're coming in. Nice hits. Can they get kills, though? Objective is taken, but look how low everybody is for that team. Blue team is really low, but it is a Nubarak that will likely die here. And he does. Kerrigan takes him down. Ragnaros, now he has his trade activated ahead, but it's just not enough. They lose Falstad, they lose Tigers. 3 heroes are now gone. That top fort is going to be destroyed. It's unfortunate. There was a lot of potential there, as I already said a bit earlier. So yes, they could have maybe done more. But it is what it is. Half a level to 16. Fort at the top is gone. And you know what? With 77% left on a frozen Punisher, I think this wall is gonna get destroyed too. I will be shocked if they can't take that wall down. So yeah, this is very likely gonna get murdered. And it's not the only thing that gets murdered. The Nubarak gets crushed again. They're getting rid of the cockroach. The exterminators are in their house. And there's another jump as they try to make the play here. With 2-0 kills, the blue team is once again... sorry, not 2-0 kills. 2-0 points on the board in regards to Maps 1. Blue team is doing their best to get a clean 3-0 victory. And they've been looking pretty good on Map 3. After that one objective that they fought over. So, once again, the push through the middle. top keeper is already taking damage, but they're keeping up the pressure. They're doing this very nicely. I really like this. So they are ahead with the talent, they had an experience, and they just try to apply pressure. Now there's maps, camps up on the map that they gotta take too. Arthur's had to defend at the bottom of the map a little bit. There's another one that they could claim. But generally speaking, they're doing a very solid job on this. Good scouting here as well. That nearly allowed them to take Inubarak down again. 1.5 level lead that they are still maintaining. And as you look at the damage, 22,000 for Cassia. I mean, Tigers is sitting at 33. He really got a whole lot done in the last team fight. The problem is simply that they didn't get the kills that they wanted. They need level 16 so that they can fight another battle. But it's getting difficult. Noob is back. Blast Wave gets increased. So yeah, they also have the Epic Enter. So Blizzard's favorite spelling error over here. I mean, you make mistakes every now and then, but they didn't fix the spelling mistake. They're clearly missing a space here. So with Epic Enter, Inubarak can epically enter the opponent's backline during a team fight, get the big stun out, and that normally leads... I mean, if you have more CC, that can lead to a quick follow-up and a quick kill. In this case, it should be Sulfuras that acts as the follow-up there. But yep, he can put it to some use right there. So already we have Kerrigan with the Divine Shield trying to turn it, but Uther, he got cocooned. And Inubarak, maybe he's not epically entering anything here, he's epically escaping. Trying to dash out as Whitemane finds herself completely split from the team. So two are chasing. Up at the top, Kerrigan is the one that is absolutely murdering though, and she's able to take Tychus down. Very nice play here also by Uther that negates half of the swing. Whitemane has been dropped, and that's 10 kills to 5 in a 5 versus 3 situation. The Shrine is going to activate soon, TM. We even have Ragnaros in trouble now. Arthur was trying to come through from the side, but doesn't get close enough. Nicely done by Rag that he escaped down to the bottom. Kerrigan, she doesn't want to let this one go though. So Kerrigan is a little bit too kill greedy and is starting to come in immediately in an attempt to get to him and just can't drop him. Would have been kind of nice though. But yeah, Kerrigan, that's a Genji player. Definitely a Genji player over here. I'm gonna get him. I was like, nah, you're really not. You're really not gonna get him. You got close though, we'll give you that, but not quite. So, with Kerrigan gone, the red team is willing to engage once more. They're 2 levels behind. There's level 20 that can still hit soon-ish for the blue team, but they find themselves at a numbers disadvantage. They're playing a 4 vs 5 now. And the red team, obviously, they smell blood in the water. They know there's an opportunity here. Sulfuras is missing again. Ah, the 0 value Sulfuras. This is a game where Lava Wave would have helped them a lot more. It is Arthur that falls, just as Kerrigan is back, so they're staggering deaths all of a sudden. This is getting a bit dangerous. Again, the leading experience is obviously huge, don't get me wrong, but look at the minimap and the advantage in structures. It's not that crazy. They got an advantage, but it's nothing insane. So if Falstad and the rest of the boys here can do well in the team fight now, they might just have a shot at dropping a few forts as well. Now this is obviously a little bit problematic. The Catapult is going to try and take this down as quickly as it can. They are still not fully engaging into this. But yeah, so at this point in time, it's again Odin that gets used, and 36 to 38, 38, there it is. Red team with a final push, and they get their first objective in this game. Nicely done by the supports here. I have to actually say that both of them have done a great job. We had multiple stuns that were already completely negated by either Lily or by Uther, and they did fantastic with that. So nicely done. Here's a level 20 for the blue team, which is going to help them to defend, so they're not even going to lose one of the structures. But yeah, job well done. So they're doing a really good one on all of this. But the bottom fort is at least gone. And I gotta say, the one in the mid lane also got destroyed. I didn't even think that would be possible with the defense that they set up here, but they lost it regardless. So that 4-man for the red team did a great job while Ragnaros was defending and also claiming the camp at the top. So this game is gonna get a little bit more interesting than expected. Technically, in structures, the red team is now ahead. In structures, the red team is currently ahead. A lot of ults used, and the one thing that they can accomplish is they take down Anubarak. So now it's a 5 versus 4, using those Storm Talents for something. And Ragnaros still not able to get a lot of value out of this. That, on the other hand, might just be the end of Arthur's if he can get a little bit more damage here, and the answer is no. But they're forcing them back, and at the top we still have that camp pushing, so that could technically damage another fort. And they are very close to their own level 20. This is the more important part. Already some minion waves that do damage at the bottom of the map. Top side is the camp that is now getting attacked, but the fort is still losing hit points. And it's starting to become a really interesting game here. Because as I said before, the red team is now ahead in structures. And they are closing in on level 20. Level 20 for them is going to be massive. It's going to be big that they finally draw even. So for the blue team, this is a little bit awkward. They dominated the game for a long time. They took some really nice objectives. They played aggressive, maybe sometimes a bit too aggressive. Remembering Kerrigan going very deep. But here's the Storm Talents now for Team Madness. That gives us a Nubarak's Rewind. We got the Wind Tunnel. We also have the Scarlet Crusade over here. And this is an interesting spot to be in. Next objective is at the top lane, so that fort needs to be taken out so that there's no fountain available, which explains the rotation here. Fort destroyed, fountain gone. Next objective is going to play out in a very similar situation for both teams. Mid lane fort, if you can hold it, great. If you lose it, doesn't really make a difference for you either. So yeah, this is getting a lot closer than I expected it to be. It looked really that the GTFOs might just be able to completely snowball this, but now the heroic difficulty has been chosen over here. And that is going to make Ragnaros play as usual, heavily around his trade. And here it is. Shrine activating at the top side. Okay, so it's very likely all going to come down to that. Falstad is getting a few more stacks in. He's sitting at 81, 43,000 damage. Not bad, not great. Lily's the only one that hasn't died yet. The only one rushing out of these battles very, very quickly. Can't catch her. You may try, but yeah, not happening. Alright. So everybody is slowly coming towards the top, trying to get a good position for the objective, and the blue team takes the initial lead. Another nice Howling Blast. Arthur's is doing well, and off we are to the races. Here comes Odin, immediately being utilized. Yeah, can they get a hit? No, Mighty Gust. They're trying to isolate Soaking, but he's just walking away from this, using his level 20. Okay, they have them in a bit of a choke point regardless though, and they're slowly taking control also of the shrine, but Odin is gonna run out eventually. Again, in comes the flank from Arthur as he's trying to zone Whitemane out. There's the ult being used, but Ragnaros is dead. And again, he dies without having used his trade. Divine Shield on Arthur's, and they are literally running them down now. They go for Falstad and Tychus. The two damage dealers are gone. Whitemane is getting attacked, and the blue team absolutely crushing right now. Job well done by them. The red team, they really fought hard, and they got to a point where it looked like they might just be able to bring it back. But now they get absolutely murdered in that fight. The keep is already gone, and they're starting to make their play for the core. And Uberak is the only one that's still in play and can try and do something about it, but he has pretty much no chance of slowing this down. This is just not happening. Nicely done, and some really nice moves in the last team fight too, but Ragnaros, he needed to get the Molten Core out. That was absolutely essential, and he just couldn't. Now they go for Nubarak again, who's able to jump back out. The core dropping, and that leads us into the first victory of the group. We have a 3-0 victory for the GTFOs against Team Madness. So the blue team is currently in the #1 position of Group D, the final group in Meta Madness. GG. Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.